You know I don't get paid to do this, right? Or even like encouraged to do this. I just want you to know that I paid $18 to watch TV, and not even good TV. Inhumans. Written and created for TV by Scott Buck and starring a bunch of people I've never heard of before because it's TV. I don't watch a whole lot of TV. What you consider really good TV, I find really boring, and I only force myself to watch like the really big ones, like Game of Thrones. I was coerced into watching Stranger Things. But I've been keeping up pretty steadily with Marvel's TV. I watch all of the Netflix stuff. I watched Agent Carter. I loved the first season of Agent Carter. I had a lot of problems with the second season. And I've been keeping up with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for 4 years. So I have to watch this. Like, I can't not watch this. But I'm not going to enjoy it. Basically, my problem with it is it doesn't feel any different than anything else in the world. I don't see why it got an IMAX treatment, is my point. Like, of all the things you could put on IMAX, you could have put Defenders on IMAX. Why Inhumans? And, like, isn't there a company called IMAX that gave them money? Like, what did they do with the money? They didn't put it into CGI because from the first droplet of mud in the first scene, the CGI was just bad. And, like, Medusa's hair, I kind of always pictured as being perpetually CGI'd. So I was actually really hoping they would have done better with it because it just seemed flat, like big, voluminous. Like I obviously can't talk, but flat, and that was not good. But okay, let's move on to the parts I like, the characters and actors and everything. By far, I think the breakout is Karnak and Gorgon, especially Karnak, but also their relationship together was one of the more fun moments of this incredibly boring show. Medusa comes in right after them. She was really good, except for her hair, which I just mentioned. Black Bolt was exactly how I kind of figured he always would be, like boring as hell. I mean, he did some pretty good facial movements. I'll give the guy that. Ansel Mount. I know his name because my mom likes him from Hell on Wheels, I think. I think he's on the show with Chief Engineer O'Brien. But since my mom likes him, I kind of instinctively don't like him. The ones I didn't like were Crystal, because she was just some, Penny from Big Bang Theory? It's the kind of thing that she would be cast to do. They just found some young Midwestern blonde chick that they could make do stuff. The script was really bad, so it was really hard for me to tell whether or not anyone was acting well. I'm almost positive Ken Long, who played Karnak, was doing a good job. I really liked him. But I've always liked Karnak from the first time I ever heard of the Inhumans. And I did read the beginning of his comic series, but it came out real sporadically, so I didn't stick around reading comics long enough to conclude it. I probably got 2 or 3 issues. I also really didn't like Auron, or the Inhuman with the same name as Auron, but none of the same abilities or personality or anything. I liked her in the comics, although I think I read about her during the Secret Wars. So things were all fucked up then. But I'm pretty sure she was a good guy. I'm 100% positive she had inhuman traits like ears. And I don't think fighting was her strong suit. I'm pretty sure she was surveillance. And I also didn't like Maximus. Not because I'm afraid of Ramsay Bolton or Ewan Rion. I honestly don't know how to pronounce his first name. It might be Ewan. I don't know if anyone knows how to pronounce his last name correctly. But they pushed Maximus in way too quickly. Like a few years back, I watched this like motion comic thing, and they had Maximus like in solitary confinement the whole time. And also, I'm pretty sure he does have inhuman abilities. They made him a human, but I'm pretty sure that Terrigenesis made him really smart. But like the whole show starts off with his usurpment of the throne, whereas I probably, if given the opportunity, I would have had it more of the humans discovering Adelan, which was a very ugly city, by the way. Holy shit, that was an ugly city. I was so disappointed with that. They had so much potential. But yeah, I didn't like Maximus, Auron, or Crystal so much. Black Bolt was kind of bland. except for the few moments where he actually had to do some eyebrows things. But he can't talk, so like I listen. I don't watch things that well. I I prefer it if they talk. Is what I'm saying. Is the central bullet point of my presentation. And another dumb thing about this is they shaved Medusa's head in the first episode, or possibly second. I don't know where the division was. But let me tell you something. If Medusa doesn't want her hair cut, it's not getting cut. Like, they devalued her for like the first while, and then all of a sudden she goes apeshit on Oron, but her hair is virtually indestructible. It's insane to me. It didn't seem like at all Scott Buck was a fan of the comics. Like, this wasn't his first choice. I don't even think Iron Fist was his first choice. I did like this less than Iron Fist because I knew more about what was at stake. Iron Fist, I knew about Kunlun, but I don't think I've ever seen it. Shao Lao, these are just names to me. I actually read a few Inhumans comics for probably 14 months. But I'm going to keep watching it. It wasn't all terrible. I mean, it was very terrible. And it's going to bug me for the rest of the week. But I have to watch it. You know what the sunk cost fallacy is? Is where you have spent money on something, so you kind of convince yourself that it's better than it actually is. And I spent $18 on this, but turns out I didn't have to, because nobody was there to take my ticket. Like, nobody scanned it at all. They just had a sign that said, go to your theater. So I got in for free, even though I paid ahead of time. There's layers to how pissed off this is making me. Like, I was totally going to try to perk this up with something positive, but I'm having a lot of trouble doing that. And I mean, honestly, I knew ahead of time. I didn't even bother putting on a Marvel shirt. I just grabbed something random out of my drawer that I haven't worn in a couple of years. Thanks, Marvel. Thanks for giving Scott Buck jobs.